It means kills, deaths, and assists, man! Like I can actually pass up the opportunity to do this. Yeah, so Bloodseeker. Probably the hero with the biggest overhaul this patch. Sounds amazingly cool right now, but the way I see it, he's still exactly where he was before. Bloodseeker was not viable in competitive play. He fit the role of a pub stomper so well, some would call him the pub seeker, and the patch buffed that aspect considerably, but didn't do anything else. You still have to be careful with his silence as it buffs up auto attack damage considerably and has a terrible cast time. Bloodbath is still a cute form of regaining health, but as a squishy hero, you might die before it ever really happens in a big teamfight and is simply unreliable. Now, Rupture might sound amazing, but once you cast it, you need help to finish the job, and it is completely countered by a goddamn TP scroll. And now we come to the glorified speed buff. First things first, the damage added is really nice and very necessary as Bloodseeker could always chase, but needed help closing the deal. The fact that it's global and stacks might sound OP, but you have to take a careful look at it. Outside of everything else, this is a direct buff to Seeker's early game. At the early stages of laning, there's the biggest chance of people just occasionally walking around with low HP, giving you a direct buff to your laning. It's too early to gank, especially before you get level 6, but in the lane itself, having 400 movement speed, while your opponent might not have boots, alongside bonus damage is pretty sweet. A nice extra is how Seeker now possesses a major threat to some junglers that reach low HP. Further into the game, you don't see people walk around with no HP. It just doesn't happen unless there's an engagement. In that case, Seeker is the ultimate chaser if he's part of the fight, or he can come in to help fairly quickly. In a big late-game teamfight, disregarding specific AoE teams, there's usually a direct target in mind, meaning only one hero will be taking huge damage and go below that threshold every time. You're not gonna run around with 4 or 5 stacks, it's more likely gonna be 1 or 2, which is great, but not amazing in any way. One of Seeker's main issues is his laning stage. He's a ganker that can snowball, but not entirely a carry. Like I've already mentioned, his early game has been buffed, which should allow him to get a good start and begin ganking early, but the question remains, where do you lane him? Not a carry, so not safe lane farm. No escape mechanism or tank ability, so not the off lane. He can jungle, but it's rather sketchy and simply not efficient, and you're pretty much left only with mid. Get a Quelling Blade, and with Bloodbath and a proper last hitting, you can survive some matchup, but there is no chance of Seeker ever winning a mid lane. Even with supports ganking mid, he can't contribute much before level 6. In addition, Seeker doesn't really need a bottle and has no way to contest rune. All these turn Seeker into a below than average mid. The last thing on our list are the items. You need damage and you need to get tanky. Treads are often preferable over phase because you really need HP. Sange and Yasha give a nice speed boost as well as more HP, and even with that you remain pretty squishy. Rushing a Radiance for that much needed damage and synergy with chasing is old school and great, but Seeker isn't the greatest farmer. Getting the obvious BKB is, well, obvious, and then it's the big items such as a heart or MKB for damage. Seeker will forever remain fun as hell to play when you snowball out of control, and kinda useless and terrible as long as the opposition stays together and gets a TP scroll. Sadly, I doubt we'll see him in competitive, but hey, there's always hope.
The enemy's bottom barracks. You now have mega creeps.
As always, thanks for watching, and make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Previous episodes are right here, and the full directory link can be found in the description. Let me know what hero you want to see me fail at next time, and see you then. Laters!
Finish him. Flawless victory.